In this video are 5 fantastic ideas to help you on your next project, maybe save you some time, maybe save you a headache. And the first is a way to dispense the caulking in that caulking tube if you don't actually have the gun. Maybe the shop's closed. Well, all you'll need are a couple of bolts, one of those specialized nuts, and a few pieces of scrap wood. You don't even need to weld this together. Simply put it together and attach it to your drill. Once attached with a metal tie, the drill does all the work. Next up, a way to make some wooden teeth for your vise in case you're woodworking or working on something you think those metal grips of the vise might damage the surface of. First off, take a few wooden blocks, sand them down so that they're comfortable for you to handle. Then simply wedge one in and create yourself 2 L shapes. The L's, of course, upside down. And then it's a matter of just slotting them into place, and whatever you're working on, wedging it between the 2 of them in the vise. Next up is a handy tip when it comes to painting an object like this. After you've painted it, how do you dry it? If hanging's not possible, here's a cool tip. Some screws in the shape of the piece are driven through a board. One side is painted, and then once it's flipped over, it can simply be placed on the tips of those screws and allowed to dry. Next up, measuring some pipe. It needs to be cut, but it's a little annoying to have it hanging off the table. You're afraid it might wobble. Well, you can use these typical corner clamps. They're magnetic, and as a team, they will hold onto that pipe nice and tight, allowing you to make the cut, and they can even be used to mark the spots that are next up for cutting. This last idea, probably the most common of all. You need a really practical trash bin for the workshop, a lot of waste. So use some plywood, it's nice and cheap. The lid from one of those large old pails, trace it and cut that shape out. Once you've cut it out, you need to add a hinge to mount it to the wall. The hinge will allow it to be collapsible. You can also just use brackets so that it's permanent. Regardless, once it's installed, all you'll need is a little rubber to ring around the outside edge, and then the outside edge of that pail lid. Now simply feed a garbage bag through and drop that ring inside. Instant trash bin. And when you're done with it, you can tie off that bag and tuck that top ring away.